Hey guys, it's Andrew here and welcome to the second news video of the last weekend. I'm starting to get a bit more consistent with my recordings and getting them out for you. We're going to start with what I've just finished watching just now, the Formula E in Miami, serving up another great entertaining race for us. Maybe not the best this year. It was quite similar to Beijing in that for the first half of the race nothing much happened. But once again, a great finish. We didn't know who was going to take it going into the last lap, and in the end, spoiler alert if you haven't seen the race already, Nico Prost took his first win of the year from Scott Speed, making his debut in the series. An absolutely stellar drive for him in the Andretti Autosport machine to take second place. What I really got from this race was that once again, the way the teams play the strategy as the race goes along actually adds something to the racing and to the spectacle of the sport, and I don't mind that. I really think it's something that should be encouraged. You know, we had teams in that first half of the race, or drivers in that first half of the race, I'm mainly thinking Sam Bird and Jean-Eric Vergne, going very quickly, going into a pure racing mode where they've got to keep their track position, and it actually hurt them in the latter stages. And what Prost and the EDAMS team did perfectly is keep it nice and measured in that first half of the race and be able to push on that last lap. Scott Speed did it as well. In fact, Scott Speed was probably denied a chance to take the win with a last minute move because Jean-Eric Vergne's car was stuck on the outside going into the pit lane and caused a double yellow flag. But it was just great to see that even so you had Daniel Abt still there as well. You didn't know going into the last few laps who was going to take it, and that's what you want from motorsport for pure entertainment value. And it was, as I say, great to see Nico Prost now in a great championship position. EDAMS as well, really taking the constructors by force. The next race, I believe, is another race in the States. I think it's Long Beach, actually. I might be wrong there. Someone correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But yeah, can't wait for it, and really can't wait to see the racing on the doubleheader weekend in Battersea in London at the end of the season in June. Moving further back in the day, we'll talk some Formula 1 now. We'll start with the bad, and who I was disappointed with in qualifying. Going to start with McLaren. I don't know whether it was being a McLaren fan just hoping and not really reading the signs from testing, but I really didn't think they'd be that bad. You know, the Honda engineers have had to turn the engines down to at least give them a chance of finishing the race. It's not even a certainty that they are going to finish the race because, of course, teams have 4 engines per car this year, and you've got to manage it over the season. You definitely don't want to end up in a situation like Daniel Ricciardo is now, where you've got to do basically 20 race weekends on 3 engines. It's going to be really tough for them, and Christian Horner already admitting that they're going to have to take a penalty some way through the year. But it's just so sad to see a team of McLaren's stature scrabbling around at the back, 5 seconds off the pace. And in a way, though, I appreciate it. It's not fully their fault. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I won't go into the full rant, not this time. But it's still down to testing. If you can't test in warm conditions, or not given the opportunity to do so, how are you meant to get it right first time? It's simply impossible. So yeah, McLaren not looking good at all. Sauber as well. The whole claims that they were vastly forward from last year, I personally don't think they are. I think they're pretty much where they should be, but it's not spectacular. I think Felipe Nasr outdrove the car today in qualifying. So moving on to the good, who really impressed me during qualifying. I'm going to start with Toro Rosso. I think the 2 drivers that they've got in that team this year are undoubtedly talented. I watched Max Verstappen in Formula 3 last year. He really is a special talent, and Carlos Sainz has deserved his chance to have a go in Formula 1 for at least 12 months if you ask me. But the engineers and the team have still got to put a car underneath them to let them deliver, and they really should be given a good amount of credit with what they've been able to do over the winter. Also who impressed me were Ferrari. Of course, the Ferrari, they're meant to be at the front of the grid, but it was great to see not only Vettel but also Raikkonen really stepping up. They really look like they're in a good position going forward into this year, and if they get the development right and close Mercedes down, they might even take quite a few race wins over the course of 2015. Mercedes as well were very impressive. Lewis Hamilton imperious in his form. I must admit I was worried about Lewis and his mentality going into the season. You know, the whole glitzy lifestyle that he's been living, for me, a bit more in the last 4 months since he's become Formula 1 World Champion. I'll admit, I thought, Lewis, are you getting a bit distracted before the start of the season? That's clearly not the case. He's focused, he's committed, and he was the one who drove the perfect qualifying today, and it was Rosberg who made the mistake that cost him time. So anyway, that's the end of the video today. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, press the like button. On the screen are annotations to 2 recent videos. One's the previous news talkie video that I did over F1 2014 gameplay, and the other video is my previous Club 100 race. I've got my next Club 100 race tomorrow. Footage of that will be out later in the week. I've been Andrew the Blade. Subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.